Update. Am I the a-hole for laughing at my stepson and ruining his wedding? For context, I have been married to my husband for just over 20 years. We started dating when my stepkids were 5 and 3. Our kids are Adam, 28, stepkid number 1, Ben, 26, stepkid number 2, Charles, 20, David, 17, and Ellie, 13. Adam is getting married at the end of summer to his fiancée Alice, 27. We have all been very excited for them. All of the kids have roles in the wedding. Charles is the best man, the other 2 boys are groomsmen, and Ellie is a junior bridesmaid. Last weekend, we had a dinner for my husband's birthday. All of the kids attended, along with Alice. The topic of the wedding came up again, and this is where it started to go downhill. Ellie brought up that she was so excited to go dress shopping, and that we plan to go to a bigger city in a few weeks to get her a dress and me a stepmom of the groom dress. At that, Alice looked at Adam sideways and responded that we only needed to worry about one dress, Ellie's. Ellie kind of laughed and said, "What are you expecting Mom to wear? A suit?" Alice responded with, "OP isn't going. You know we're keeping our guest list very limited to only family and a few close friends." What? Adam and Alice have been to our house numerous times for holidays, dinners, just to say hi since they've been engaged. This has never been brought up. Pretty quickly, things escalated. The Cliff Notes version is that Charles asked them to clarify if they were choosing to uninvite me now or if I was never invited. Alice confirmed the latter. As for why, Adam said it's because I'm not his mom. Charles, David, and Ellie argued with Adam and Alice that none of them were going to go if I wasn't invited. That it was cruel to leave me out, given I've been his parent for a majority of his life and loved him like my own. My husband and I admittedly sat there for a minute just completely shocked. Adam finally turned to my husband and said, "Well?" My husband told him he wouldn't be going either. Adam then turned to me and asked if I was really going to let everyone ruin his wedding on my behalf. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I just laughed. I don't know what came over me, but the entire thing was just so ridiculous that laughing was the only thing I could get out. I told my husband I'd be waiting in the car and left, and then promptly bawled my eyes out. Anyway, Charles, David, and Ellie are not talking to Adam. Adam called my husband yesterday to try and smooth things over. He was still adamant I'm not invited and said it's their wedding. He also requested that I apologize for laughing at him. My husband told him tough shit. It's their wedding and they can invite whoever they want, but they can't control who will actually go. He said they owe me an apology and that Adam should be ashamed of himself. I'm getting texts now asking what the heck I did and why I'm being a step monster and ruining the wedding. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Ben was at dinner. He is autistic. He is upset. Everyone is mad at each other, but doesn't quite understand what the argument is. He has been upset at the "I am not his parent" comment, but is also upset his siblings are fighting. We still have 50-50 custody of him, and myself, his dad, and the younger 3 siblings have reassured him that I am his parent and always will be. That we all still love Adam, and we all very much love and adore him, Ben. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. I feel like there's a lot missing here. You've been married to his dad since he was 8. That was years of elementary, middle, high school, college, over 20 years. Is his mother living? Did his fiancé influence him? Just seems odd to not invite his dad's wife of 20 years and call her not family. I don't think you're the a-hole, but I just want to know more about the past 20 years. I am sorry. I had to cut out a lot for the character count to post. When Adam called, my husband did ask him if I had done anything, if it was related to Biomom, she has never gotten along with us, if I had overstepped in any way. Adam says no, it's just they want family only. Stepdad is invited as far as we know. I was a stay-at-home for most of my stepkids' childhood, and we had 50-50. My husband has always worked a lot, but has been as involved as possible. The house and child rearing mostly fell to me though. I love our kids to pieces. I thought we had made it clear from the beginning that I am or was another parent that loves them, not a replacement mom. We've never had any issues, and I thought up until now that we were particularly close. Our communication has slowed since he met Alice, but he was calling me about once or twice a week prior to this. Alice and I have gone shopping on occasion, gotten lunch. I even went with her to the florist for the wedding because her mom wasn't available and Adam got called into work. There has to be something or someone causing an issue, and my husband and I are baffled. Inviting someone who's not invited to the wedding to go floral shopping with you for said wedding is the tackiest thing I've seen in a fat minute. My nephew's bride-to-be invited my family. My husband and brother, nephew's dad, had a falling out. When I RSVP'd for myself and our daughter since husband decided he should stay home to avoid any drama, the RSVP link on the email or digital invitation wouldn't open. I reached out to bride-to-be. She informed me that she invited us on accident. That was sad. Then she sent me their registry. That cured me of my sadness. My parents are the rich ones in the extended family. Despite moving across the country 25 years ago and having little to nothing to do with anyone, they were still invited to all my cousins' weddings. They always send a gift in the form of a generous, enough to make it really sting, donation to a charity close to the family. Now for the first update. Thank you to everyone who responded to my post. Most of you were kind and offered good advice. I appreciate it. Before I give an update, I just want to answer a few frequently asked questions. 1. I am not an affair partner. My husband did not cheat on his ex-wife with me. We met about a year after they divorced. She was already engaged, not to the current stepdad. Not that that really matters. 2. Ben was at the dinner. He is autistic. I went into it more in some of my comments, but he was very upset. He doesn't understand what the argument was exactly about, but he was mostly upset at Adam for saying I'm not their parent, and then at all the siblings for fighting with each other. Anyway, the update. The short version is, if you guessed it was related to Biomom, you're correct. I didn't want this to be the case. Adam rescheduled with Charles for Monday, citing Easter weekend, fair enough. He also texted my husband to let him know that he and Alice would be doing Easter with her parents. We expected that. At some point on Sunday, Ellie texted Alice. I'm not sure what exactly was said, but it prompted Alice to spill everything that was going on with her parents. I've met them a few times, but they live a few hours away. They encouraged her and Adam to reach out to us to clear everything up. On Monday, we dropped Ben off at Biomom's. He stayed an extra night for Easter fun. A few hours later, she began to blow up my husband's phone because Ben mentioned the fight. My husband answered one call, during which she was screaming, and he promptly hung up. He texted her that the siblings argued, everything is fine, and that if Ben had any further questions, we would talk about it when he's back with us. From some of the things she texted, we knew she was the root of all of this. On Monday, Adam also met up with Charles, and he did come clean. Charles texted us to see if it was okay if they came over afterward, and we said yes. I'm not going to lie, Adam looked a mess. He immediately began crying and apologizing. The short and sweet of it is that he's been trying to mend bridges with Biomom. Their wedding isn't 60 people, it's blown up to about double that, and they have been struggling to figure out how to pay for it. At one of their visits, Alice let it slip, and Biomom jumped in to help pay for things. It slowly snowballed from there, from small requests to big ones. I'm not sure what the final nail in the coffin was, but it ended with Biomom requesting that I not be there. Adam said it was easier to hurt me than to risk World War III with his mom. Alice's parents were less than pleased to find out how they've been handling the wedding and budget, and even less so about Biomom's antics. They are trying to figure out how to start covering the payments Biomom has made. We've decided to help with this. Adam also asked if we could meet again in a few days with Alice, and we've said yes. There is still a lot of ground to cover for this to be close to mended. I am still hurt, but mostly, I'm angry on behalf of my oldest son. You and your husband, though your offer to pay is generous, shouldn't let Adam or Alice off the hook this easily. In his own words, it was easier to hurt you than to start a conflict with his mom. It was easier for him to invite every single person you love and care for, expecting them to betray you and humiliate you, than it was for him to recognize his mom's manipulation and ask for help elsewhere. Not even just financial help, but emotional support. He would rather have had you sit alone and abandoned than take responsibility for their poor planning and his mom's behavior. And when you didn't accept it, when your loved ones didn't accept it, instead of admitting he was wrong or coming clean or doing anything remotely sane, he and his soon-to-be wife started cussing you out, as if you had done anything but be kind. I hope you get a chance to begin healing, but you won't get there if you and your husband don't acknowledge the very real role and responsibility Adam had in letting this situation play out. Just jumping in now with money and immediate forgiveness will only be a band-aid, not real healing. Absolutely. For me, it's the fact that Alice lied about it just being a few limited people, or whatever, when their guest list had already doubled. Like when OP's entire extended family showed up, they wouldn't immediately realize there were over 100 people there. Even if it was just 60 people as originally planned, that's still a heck of a lot of people to put above the woman who helped raise Adam. WTF. They opened themselves up to this mess by letting the guest list grow, which made them need more money. And then they tried to play it off like it was so tiny, they just couldn't accommodate one person. And then claimed she's not family? Wow. Biomom is a snake, but what Adam and Alice pulled is also very shady. Now for the last update 2 months later. To catch everyone up really quick, Adam came over to have a conversation with us after talking to Charles. He's been reconnecting with his mother over the last year, and she's the real root of everything. It started with small requests as they got closer, then she began paying for things for the wedding, and it escalated to me being uninvited. About a week after that, Adam and Alice came over for another conversation. My husband and I read through all of your comments and already had a game plan. We explained that while we love them to bits and forgive them, this is still a big mess and they need to hold themselves accountable for 1. The situation with Biomom, and 2. How they treated me. It wasn't just about the dinner. It was also about the months they allowed the ex-wife to crap-talk me to them. We would not be bailing them out financially for this. I haven't pried into too many details, but Adam had a talk with his mom. She was calm and agreed to everything he said, suspicious. Mostly that they will not exclude me from future events or tolerate any unkind words about me moving forward. He and Alice canceled their wedding. They got back a good portion of their money, mostly to pay back Biomom. When he tried to drop off a check to her, she absolutely lost it. Adam hasn't wanted to talk much about the things that were said, but he has told us they are currently no contact. I won't say the exact date, but Adam and Alice asked us all to meet for dinner. We got there and Alice's parents and siblings were there too. It wasn't just dinner, they eloped. We got to go to the courthouse with them and then celebrate after. They seemed so happy. 3 days later, my husband was at work and I was coming home from errands when I got a very panicked call from Ellie. The ex-wife was outside, pounding on our door and screaming her head off. I gave Ellie instructions and then called 911. I then called my husband. When I got there, the ex-wife was already detained. She hadn't broken in, but she had damaged the outside of our door and the siding around it. And she was still screaming. The stuff she was saying was absolutely vile, and most of the reason I haven't wanted to update. It was everything from, "I hate you," and "It's your fault Adam won't talk to me," to "Stealing my kids from me won't replace the ones you lost." After that comment, I tuned out the rest until she was placed in the back of the cop car. It's important context that we've had several miscarriages, one of which I know the ex-wife knew about. What I really think she was referencing is the baby we had between David and Ellie, who was full-term and stillborn. I still don't understand how anyone could say something so awful and carry so much hate. Putting it out there is hard, and honestly, I don't have much comment on it, other than I'm lucky to have the husband I do. Some of the charges we declined to pursue. Some the police department will pursue regardless of whether we ask them to or not. She is already bailed out, but our restraining order has been granted pending a court date with the judge. From the bits and pieces we hear, the ex-wife's family has put her on lockdown. Her brother works for the department that arrested her, so this has been quite the talk of the town. We have not heard from her since, and her mother has told my husband we absolutely won't be hearing from her or having any further issues. We have been doing exchanges for Ben with the stepdad. I'm pleased it worked out for you, and that you had to talk about their needing to own this. And thank goodness told them you weren't going to help them financially. However, never turn your back on Alice. I think Adam has married his mother. Let's just say he seems to be easily led, and I think she is more than a misled party in this. I refer to your first post. At that, Alice looked at Adam sideways and responded that we only needed to worry about one dress, Ellie's. Ellie kind of laughed and said, "What are you expecting Mom to wear? A suit?" Alice responded with, "OP isn't going. I suspect she will continue to cause trouble and drive a wedge between you and Adam, and he'll go there again. Take care." I second this. She sure didn't have his best interest at heart when she was okay with him writing off his mother of 20 years so she could have a party. When my husband wanted to sleep through lunch with his grandmother, I yelled at him that he needed to get his butt out of bed because she's 90 and we're never in town and she's looking forward to it. That's when my mother-in-law decided I was okay. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not letting my mom come to my graduation because she wanted to bring the man I hate? My 17 female recently graduated from high school. We had a graduation ceremony where we could invite close family. I'd been looking forward to this event for a long time because the past few years have been rough. School stress, family issues, anxiety. This was supposed to be my moment to finally relax and feel proud of myself. My mom, 42 female, has been dating a man I honestly can't stand. He's never been physically abusive, but he constantly makes belittling jokes, tries to control my mom, gets involved in my business, and acts like he's my dad, which he's not and never will be. I've asked my mom multiple times not to bring him to family events because I just feel awful around him. She always says, "He's part of my life, you'll have to get used to it." When I told her I didn't want him at my graduation, she got upset and said, "If he's not welcome, then I won't come either." I said, "Okay," and invited my aunt, my mom's sister, who I'm really close to. We had a lovely time. Now my mom is telling everyone how ungrateful I am and how I excluded her from a major life event. Some relatives have started texting me saying I went too far, but I just didn't want my day to be ruined. Am I the a-hole? When I went to go live with my dad, my first big event was a choir concert. My mom did not show up because I did not officially invite her. I just informed her. We are low contact 45 years later. That sounds like what happened to me and my wannabe birth father on my graduation day. I had absolutely no contact with him, and I didn't know his address. He calls me up the day of graduation and screams at me about why I didn't receive an invitation. I flat out told him that I didn't know where he was living. He then said he was living with his sister who I did send an invitation to, so it wasn't like he didn't know the dates and address. He made that whole thing about himself instead of being about me, just like OP's mom did.